Ah yes, it is that time again, my fellow weebs. New seasonal anime time. Winter 2025 anime is done and dusted, having brought us what might be the two best anime of the entire year by the time this year is all said and done in the second season of Solo Leveling and the second season of Apothecary Diaries. Unfortunately though, it doesn't seem like spring anime 2025 is going to be able to live up to the same kind of heights of the winter block of 2025 of this year. But fear not, my friends, because amongst the copious amounts of Isekai Slop in random subpar kind of shonen anime, there does seem to be at least a few new anime out there worth watching. So join me today as we are going to be talking Spring Anime 2025 in a nutshell, from the newest MAPPA anime to the second season of a popular delinquent shonen to what might be the most degen anime I think I have ever seen in my life. So let's go ahead and start off with a high note, the debut of MAPPA's newest original anime, Lazarus, on Adult Swim and HBO Max. Over the last 10 years, MAPPA have really established themselves as kind of the top animation studio in this new dark kind of shonen world. Obviously, MAPPA ushering in this kind of era of the dark shonen with the likes of the second half of Attack on Titan, JJK, Chainsaw Man, you get the idea. Anytime that MAPPA is involved in an anime, that anime will immediately receive all sorts of hype, because generally with any MAPPA anime, you know at the very least that the animations will be high quality. This anime will be pretty to look at, even if maybe it doesn't boil out to be the most amazing story ever. You can always expect a certain level of quality when it comes to any MAPPA anime. This brings us to Lazarus, MAPPA's newest project, a new original work not adapted from any source material that I am aware of, that debuted on April 6th of this year, just a day ago, a day at the time of recording. The year is 2052. An era of unprecedented peace and prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this? Mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure, a drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hapuna. Hapuna soon became ubiquitous and essential. However, soon after this drug was introduced, Dr. Skinner vanished. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as a harbinger of doom. Dr. Skinner announcing that Hapuna has a short half-life. Everyone who has taken the drug will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for this sinful world, and soon. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents are gathered across the world to save humanity from Skinner's plan, this group being called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out? As I said, episode 1 of Lazarus debuted on April 6th, just a day ago, a day at the time of recording, and I happened to watch this first episode, and I have some thoughts. So first off, as I said, this is a MAPPA anime, so obviously it's going to look good, and MAPPA did not disappoint here. Lazarus has a very unique kind of animation style, but one that you can definitely kind of see MAPPA's fingerprints all over. And let me tell you, just from episode 1, the animations are crisp and clean. There is a lot of action and kind of action choreography in this first episode, probably a good 10 minutes of it. Most of the episode, a bulk of this first episode is kind of action-paced scenes as we see our main character, Axel, being recruited by an organization that is later revealed to be Lazarus, but he uses this opportunity to escape from prison. Again, the action scenes here are super crisp, they are super smooth, there is a lot of really cool choreography, some kind of really cool parkour scenes that go across almost this entire episode. So from that merely aesthetic point of view, it is a MAPPA anime, and they do seem to be delivering on that front. At the very least, it seems like the bulk of this anime, obviously we're just one episode in, will be, something at least aesthetically pleasant to look at. As well, this anime has a pretty banger soundtrack, one that very much invokes very kind of cowboy bebop themes, essentially in its very much jazzy, upbeat kind of vibe that comes to it, especially in many of these action scenes. I very much think that Lazarus was Cowboy Bebop inspired, not only in its sci-fi themes, its animation action scenes, as well as in the anime's opening sequence and many kind of art still frames you see from the show. There very much does seem to be that Cowboy Bebop kind of vibe that they're trying to invoke here. And obviously, the main character's name is Axel, which just very much just gives me Spike vibes from Cowboy Bebop. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you watched the first episode of Lazarus? Did you get this same kind of like Cowboy Bebop vibe, or at least the feeling that they were trying to invoke Cowboy Bebop in this anime? Maybe I'm just crazy here. Overall, I actually really enjoyed episode 1 of Lazarus. It was really fun. I like the sci-fi vibes. I like the soundtrack a lot, and I really enjoyed the animations and the action scenes. However, there is one major drawback. That being, at the time of recording, at least for the foreseeable future, if not the next month, Lazarus is only available in an English dub.
Yeah, that's a yikes from me, my dude.
Now, to be fair to this anime, the English dub isn't bad. It's actually pretty good. I think overall, English dubs have come a long, long way in anime, but I don't know what it is. For some reason, maybe I'm just an elitist, a purist. The English dub always just feels wrong when I'm watching anime. There's something about it that just feels odd, oftentimes cringe. I don't know what it is. A lot of times it feels like Japanese humor just doesn't cross over well into an English dub, and it just feels awkward hearing a English voice actor do this. In this case, though, I think that the Japanese dub would be better than the English here. And it does make me wonder why Adult Swim decided to go this way. Obviously, this show airs on Adult Swim at night, so when people watch it on their TV proper, it's going to be in English. But I watched the show on HBO Max, and for some reason, I don't know why, they just didn't upload the Japanese audio to it with the subs. Now, from what I've seen on Reddit and online so far from sleuthing, it just seems like they don't actually have the subs for the Japanese version prepared yet, as this does take some time. So it's going to be around a month, apparently, before you can watch this anime with the Japanese language and the English subs. It is available online in dubious places to watch in Japanese, but there is not like great English subs to watch along with it. So I think this is a major reason why this anime got majorly docked after the first episode debuted, and it has somewhere around like a 7.6 on my anime list. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've watched episode 1 of Lazarus and what you think of it so far. Did the fact that you can only watch it in English annoy you? Do you think it will be better in Japanese? And do you think that it invokes the same kind of Cowboy Bebop vibes? I mean, just take a look at this poster and tell me that it does not, like, that this isn't trying to invoke Cowboy Bebop. Overall, I do think that Lazarus will be one of the better anime that come out in Spring Anime 2025. Moving on, we have what is, according to my anime list, the most hyped anime for Spring 2025, the 3rd season of Fire Force, sitting at an 8.14 on my anime list at the time of recording. Now, I've never watched Fire Force. I am aware of it. It is a kind of like action, like urban fantasy shonen about a group of firefighters, but in this kind of like fun, very shonen-y twist where they battle fires and like fire like creatures where like people spontaneously combust and like turn into like violent creatures. I think they're called infernals if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I haven't watched this anime, though I am aware of it, and I do know that it is pretty freaking popular. I remember the first season came out in, I think, like 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, and it was extremely popular. Actually, I'm looking right now, and the first season of Fire Force is ranked as the 96th most popular anime on my anime list, and that is definitely pretty popular. It's done by David Production, the studio behind, obviously, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so I think a lot of people are pretty hyped and, you know, enjoy this show for a lot of those same reasons, because it is the same animation studio, and you can definitely see some through lines to, you know, JoJo's and similar kind of like animation style within the Fire Force anime. Again, I've never watched this anime, but seeing as people do think it's pretty hyped, and seeing as also Spring Anime 2025 seems very light on like a good anime to watch, which, trust me, we are going to get to, I may actually go and give this anime a shot and watch it back from season 1. Let me know in the comment section down below, are you a fan of Fire Force, and do you think that I should watch it along with maybe fans who haven't watched Fire Force anime yet? As well, it wouldn't be a new seasonal anime without copious amounts of Isekai Slop, and man, do we have a few. I've been killing slimes for 300 years, then maxed out my level season 2, an anime that's actually produced by Square Enix of all people, which really surprised me, as well as The Beginning After the End, produced by Studio A Cat, the story following the strongest king in history until he suddenly dies, being reborn as an infant named Arthur in a world of magic. Yeah, no thank you, hard pass. I don't know about you guys, but I am so tired of isekai anime. I talked about this in my Why Solo Leveling Slaps video, which I released the other day, which I definitely recommend watching if you are a fan of solo leveling or you're wondering why this anime has gotten so popular, but unfortunately for us, the isekai genre doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. Now, there are parts of the isekai genre that I do enjoy. I am a Dungeons & Dragons fan. I do enjoy the fantasy elements of many isekai. I do enjoy many trapped in a video game MMORPG elements that also exist in many isekai. It's not necessarily isekai, as a core concept, as an anime genre and theme that I dislike. What I dislike is the oversaturation of isekai. The fact that isekai, along with dark shonen fantasy, are kind of the two most popular anime genres out there right now. And because of this, studios are just pumping out isekai after isekai, just cashing in on the isekai hype train as much as possible. And because of that, we get all sorts of isekai slop, like the two anime I just mentioned, as well as many other isekai. I mean, I swear every single year there is at least like 50 to 100 new isekai that get dropped, most of which you've never even heard of and you will never ever watch, and they are garbage. Many of them are comedies or just kind of silly isekais, and they are filled with all of the same isekai fantasy bullshit themes that we've seen played out over and over again. A main character gets sent to another world, whether by dying or just by stepping through a portal. Sometimes they are a person from just an ordinary lifestyle. Maybe they're a businessman. Maybe they're being reborn into a new world with magic filled with, all sorts of classic fantasy like creatures, like elves, dwarves, whatnot, and they have to re-go through their entire life in this fantasy world. Frankly, I am just tired of it. Yes, every once in a while there is a new isekai that comes out. Usually it's a comedy that does manage to, make fun of and make the isekai genre enjoyable again. But overall, I am just absolutely tired of the isekai genre. It's been forced down our throats, similar to how Marvel forced the superhero genre down our throats, and I'm ready to move on from isekais for a short while now. Next, we have the anime that I am probably most looking forward to in spring 2025, Windbreaker Season 2, the second season of a new delinquent shonen anime that debuted last year. Windbreaker is an action delinquent shonen mainly focusing around fight scenes and fighting in classic delinquent fashion done by the studio Cloverworks. What I like about Windbreaker is that it is a very simple anime, a very simple concept that it executes really well. It is a delinquent anime following a group of students in a town that go to a school called Furin, and they have a big kind of, classic Japanese delinquent kind of gang. This gang of high school kids very much kind of flipping the trope on like delinquent, classic kind of like Japanese delinquent culture by being protectors of their town, facing off against other more nefarious delinquent gangs in, you guessed it, brawling fist fighting action. I really enjoyed season 1 of this anime. It was one of my favorite anime that came out last year. Again, it's nothing crazy. It's not like this anime is like some new like over the top, awesome, epic, like piece of storytelling, piece of medium. It is a solid story with really fun, interesting characters and character design that executes what it sets out to do very well. Again, being a delinquent action fighting anime. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It very much is what it is, and what it is, it does very well, in my opinion. I highly recommend Windbreaker if you just want to watch a fun, fun action anime and kind of turn your brain off and just watch cool animations and cool fight scenes and very interesting, funny character dynamics between, a very cool, very aesthetically pleasing cast of characters. I think that Windbreaker is pretty underrated and not as popular as I'm surprised that I thought it would be, and I definitely recommend Windbreaker to all of my anime fans out there, especially in this seasonal block of anime that are very subpar, very lacking. And then finally we come to what is probably the anime that everyone is going to be talking about from Spring Anime 2025. Please put them on, Takamine-san. Now, I'm not joking when I say this. This might be one of the most degen, borderline anime that I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, can we just take a second and look at this shit? I mean, come on, dude. What the fuck? How is this just not straight up? Takane Takamine is great at everything she does, and her magnetic personality makes her the envy of everyone. She gets good grades, excels at sports, and even manages to become student council president during her first year. But Takamine has a secret. She possesses an ability called Eternal Virgin Road, allowing her to redo past action and achieve a different result. Takamine, though, must pay a price to activate this skill. She has to strip off a piece of her lingerie.
You have a poison in your mind, and the fact that you can't see it makes me so sad.
When a classmate decides to confront her about her previous test score, she reveals her ability and blackmails him to become her closet, making him carry around extra lingerie and put them on her. Left with little choice in the matter, he accepts, starting an oddly intimate type of relationship with the most popular girl at school. Jesus, guys, is it hot in here? Now look, I'm not trying to hate here. I mean, people are gonna like what they're gonna like, and at the end of the day, I guess whatever makes you happy. Who am I to really judge? But you see, over time in history, there is a bit of a stereotype when it comes to weebs, anime enjoyers, if you will, as horny little bastards. And this is not helping. I really just want to know, like, how did this anime get cleared? Like, I get that it's an ecchi. I get that it's most definitely 18 plus.
Please, for the love of God, tell me that this anime is 18 plus.
But honestly, if this anime doesn't get canceled or heavily censored even more so after its first season, I will be shocked. This reminds me of a few years back, there was this degen anime called Interspecies Reviewers. I'm sure some of my more cultured fans and friends out there will know exactly the anime that I'm talking about. An anime that I would describe as a tasteful degen ecchi with a actually banger soundtrack, by the way. Now, this Interspecies Reviewers was very much flying very close to the sun when it got released, and I wasn't too shocked when it got canned just a year, just one season after its release, to the sadness of many anime fans out there. So if Please Put Them On Takamine-san doesn't follow the kind of same fate that Interspecies Reviewers did, as in many ways, this new anime seems to be a lot worse than Interspecies Reviewers, then I will be legit shocked. Don't get me wrong, Please Put Them On Takamine-san is a comedy, and it is hilarious, just in the sheer concept of this anime alone, and from what I saw from episode 1, but, goddamn, is this easily one of the wildest, most degen anime I've ever seen in years that is, so borderline close to that it's not even funny. This anime is going to get renewed for a second season, isn't it, guys? And yeah, this is really kind of the most interesting things that are coming out in spring 2025. I mean, there's some other anime that people might be interested in. There is like a spin-off of My Hero Academia Vigilante. There's a kind of new season or spin-off of Black Butler, Emerald Witch arc, as well as a number of other random anime that, in just my opinion, don't really look that good, and no one really seems to be that excited for. I mean, this is legit one of the most lackluster, one of the non-awe-inspiring seasonal blocks of anime I've seen over the last few years. I mean, there's not even really one major standout. Like, obviously, there's Lazarus, the MAPPA anime, which I think a lot of people are going to watch and people are excited for, but definitely I was surprised to see that this only has a 7.7 on my anime list at the time of recording after just one episode released. Again, I think a large part of this might be due to the fact that it is only in English, at least at the time of recording, for, Western audiences. Obviously, there is the second season of Windbreaker, but outside of that, there's not really anything that I am really excited to watch. We still have the second season of Apothecary Diaries, which obviously is amazing. That is going to be releasing for a decent part of, spring anime 2025, but I'm not going to include that in a spring anime because it started in winter 2025, even though obviously at the end of the day, Apothecary Diaries is amazing. You should go watch that anime if you haven't watched it already. It is definitely a saving grace for this very lackluster seasonal block of anime. Overall, though, spring 2025 does seem to be pretty lackluster. I don't see any anime that are kind of like rogue shouts that are like, under the radar sleeper anime that really I would be interested in watching. In general, it's just Lazarus, Windbreaker, the most degen anime I've ever seen in my life, which I'm going to watch just because of how sheerly outrageous it is, a couple of random Isekai Slop that I have zero interest in watching, and then a bunch of other anime that I haven't heard of and really don't have any interest in watching. Let me know in the comment section down below, though, if there are any anime that I am sleeping on for spring 2025, any anime that we didn't cover in this video. I'm sure that there might be some out there, and please, for the love of God, guys, let me know in the comment section, because this is looking pretty slim pickings at the moment. As always, though, guys, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video or learn something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does go a long way in helping this video get put into the algorithm, and it is the easiest way to support me. If you did enjoy this video, then want to check out some of my other anime content on screen now, like my video that I recently dropped called Why Solo Leveling Slaps. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Peace. Love. Adu.